Hello and welcome back to Stranded Deep. My name is Agork. Today I'm going to be speedrunning Stranded Deep one more time. I'm going to be doing this without a raft. I'm swimming everywhere. I'm playing on 0.76 stable. I tried to update to the experimental branch, 0.78, the newest one, but it wasn't working for me. I was having problems with my inventory and stuff, so I switched to this. This is the world we're going to be running. This is the route that I'm going to try and go. It's very compact. I have tried to run this particular world a couple of times already. I have completed it once with a pretty good time, and the other time, what happened the other time? Oh yeah, I tried to run it. I got halfway through. I got to the first island after my start island, and then I was on the experimental branch, and my keys stopped working. I couldn't pick anything up or use my weapons or anything, so I had to start all over again. Same thing happened again the second time I ran it, and then I switched over to the stable branch, and yeah, we're going to try and do this and hope that it works. I'm just going to escape here to skip the airplane crash. And yeah, my goal today is to beat my current time of 1 hour, 24 minutes and some odd seconds. I think it was 32 seconds maybe. I'd like to get under 1 hour and 20 minutes. That's kind of my goal at the moment. And yeah, see how close I can get to that. Okay, I'm recording this audio after I've already played the game. I wasn't recording the audio at the time that I was playing, so this is just going to be my commentary about what I'm doing on screen, but it's not live. I didn't record this while I was playing. So here I've just gone for the first shipwreck, trying to loot it. All I got out of it really was a piece of cloth. Grabbing my first weapon, killing a crab to increase my hunting skill. And I'm going to do the usual, you know, pick up sticks and fibrous leaves and whatnot here in the beginning. And this isn't going to be anything too unusual or something you haven't seen before. Got a tanker wreck right over there, which is great. It's good to have a tanker on your first island, especially when you're doing a speed run, simply because you need to be able to find all the resources that you need to win. And that primarily includes planks, like right there. Fuel cans. Anything else that would be good would be lashings, leather, rations, things like that in any shipwrecks. But fuel cans, those are the big things. Those are often the limiting factor. Is if you can't find enough fuel cans, your run will just die and you have to start all over again. And again, just going after the crabs here, trying to up my hunting level just like there. You don't really need a lot of rocks in the beginning, but I'm gathering them all anyways because I know I'm going to have the inventory space for them. It's my first island. I'll have plenty of inventory space. So I'm going to grab everything that I might need on the first island or two, or even all the way to my third island. Got a couple of potatoes here. Nice yucca tree out in the open, so I'm not going to have to worry about losing the leaves in the bushes. And I believe there's only 2 yucca trees on this island, which is a bit unusual. They usually have 3, but I managed to just live with that. Having the tanker here is really a huge bonus. I've done speed runs on islands that didn't have tankers, and your luck has to play into it a lot more in that regard, because on a normal island without a tanker, you don't have a lot of shipwrecks to go through. You maybe end up with 5-6 crates maybe, whereas with a tanker, you're going to end up with a lot more crates. And I noticed this crate just go flying here right off the bat here. When I came into render distance of this wreck, it just fell off the front and landed on the ground there, so I noticed that and grabbed it, so that was cool. Now this shipwreck here in particular, this little one that I was just in, I find that can be a make or break in a run a lot of times, because sometimes it'll spawn with like a lionfish or a poisonous sea snake inside of it. And I did this once I think it was the first time I ran this map, actually. And I got poisoned. Like, I swam into the cargo hold and got poisoned immediately. I was like, oh, come on. It's not how you want to start your speed run. But, yeah, it is what it is. And, yeah. There's also PP plants on this island, so it wasn't that big of a deal. But I find when doing these speed runs that there's always something that goes wrong. Like, almost always. In one run, it might be you can't find enough jerry cans. In another run, it might be, and there's my first jerry can there. I've got to grab that. Very important. Same with the rations. Very important. But yeah, there's always something that's going to go wrong in one of these speed runs. Whether it's can't get enough planks, can't get enough fuel cans, you get poisoned, you get some boars or giant crabs that are just really being annoying. You lose your direction when you're going between islands. That can be another one that can cause you to go wrong. I got stuck in a shipwreck once, totally glitched out on the edge of a shipwreck where you shouldn't get caught, but I did, and I couldn't get out of it, so I had to quit and start all over again. So many things that can go wrong. And a lot of it is just being organized and trying to keep your loot where you know where it is. I find I still, even now that I've been doing this for quite a bit, playing a lot of these speed runs, I'm getting better at it, but I still find myself struggling sometimes with inventory management. Trying to remember what's in each crate and stuff. It's really frustrating to deal with. Air tank is really nice there. This helps me when I go down into the cargo hold. If you don't have an air tank when you go down into the cargo hold, you're pretty screwed. You have to surface a couple of times. And here I managed to get 2 air tanks. That was fantastic. Because I'd already been on this island once before, I knew that none of the doors down here were blocked, so I put the axe away. Nothing but engine parts, so I get rid of those, take the empty crate for extra storage. I could have just left that crate behind, I think, but eh. So many engine parts. Again, all I'm getting out of this is 2 lashings so far. That's just horrible. Horrible, horrible luck. And again. Nothing there. Just junk, absolute junk. That's one of the worst wrecks I think I've ever been in for loot in a tanker. Like, all I got out of that was like 3 lashings. Like, horrible. I've already been here before, so... The other end is buried. I can't even get through to the rooms there where there would be another couple of crates, but sometimes it's like that. There's not much you can do. Just move on. Yeah, all I got out of that was a couple of lashings. Really awful. There's another little shipwreck here with 1 crate. And there's another wreck out in the water there. Crate there. Another fuel can, which is just a game saver there, really. When you can come out of the first island with 2 or even 3 fuel cans, you're like, yes! Takes off a lot of the pressure. I had another map that I was playing on that just looked beautiful on paper. Everything lined up. The islands were close together. There was lots of potatoes. The bosses were close by. Everything was like perfectly laid out. And the run failed, basically because I didn't have enough fuel cans. I could only find 2 fuel cans. I had to go to 2 extra islands, and I still only had 2 fuel cans. So that kind of killed the run because my time had already elapsed past my current record. So it was like, and that's basically my goal right now, is that I'm simply trying to beat my current records and get it to be better and better and better. And when you have to go to 2 extra islands just to find the 3rd fuel can that you need to escape, your run is dead. You can't do anything about it. It's such a colossal waste of time. So here I am on this island with, what is it, 2 fuel cans already, I think it was. That's huge. Here I'm building spears simply to up my craftsmanship level. Same thing with the stone tools. Again, just trying to increase my craftsmanship level so that I can build the things that I need to build as quickly as possible. I have one piece of leather there. And this is one of the first times I've decided to use the label maker. And you see I have 3 fuel cans already. I mean, that is huge. And I have 5 planks. And there's 1 over there. So I actually have 6 planks. I only need 4. So the last 2 are just are just extra. Don't even need them. Just gathering everything that I actually need out of these. Okay, so I have a bunch of empty crates. Turning the cloth into bandages. I'll need those for the boss fights. Trying to keep the fuel and the planks close together, and I'll put the potatoes in there as well, simply because those are all things you need to make the fuel that you need. Then I have a kind of a health or medicine one. 1 crate for spears. And my S key doesn't work, so I can't write spears, so I just write throw. And same thing when I do, what's this one? Leather, bandage, juga. Ran out of letters. Couldn't write the whole word. So I've got 8 lashings there, which is great. And again, my S doesn't work, so I have to type lashing instead of lashing. Call that one light. The reason I'm naming these is because when you don't have a raft, you're carrying everything in your inventory. And if you just look in your inventory and they all just say wooden crate or wooden container, you don't know what's in it. So labeling them helps you to pick which crate it is you want to drop on the ground. If you're looking for a specific item, for example, you can pick the correct crate and put it on the ground, which is kind of a smart thing to do. Call that one food. Compass is not food, but that's all right. I think here I was looking for rocks. I had 3 of them in my inventory. And I know that you need 6 rocks to build 2 fuel stills. So I'm looking for the other rocks that I'm missing. And I'm going to grab the ajuga plants that I need for breath boosts. Not every island has those, so it's important kind of to grab them when you can, if you have the inventory space. See, it's starting to get dark soon. And because I have the inventory space, I'm going to take those ones, take the rocks with me. I don't really need any of the other stuff lying on the beach there. The planks, I already have the 4 that I need. So it's off to the next island. We're about, what, 14 minutes in, and we're off to our second island. So it's a pretty good pace. I have left the start island as early as, I think, 8 or 9 minutes after the game started before, but that was a small island that did not have a tanker, limited number of wrecks. So I think that's decent for a tanker island that I'm out of there in about 14 minutes. And like I say, in those 14 minutes, I managed to get all the planks, all the fuel cans that I needed. Now it's just a matter of gathering the 8 potatoes that I need from the various islands, killing the bosses, and yeah, chopping down trees and whatnot to get the other items I need for building fires and gathering wood to make fires and spears and whatnot, so that I have weapons to kill out bosses and whatnot. And here I was lucky enough that the crabs are both facing in the wrong direction. So pretty easy to just walk up behind them, kill them before they wander too far away, and the other one is just right there waiting for me. So that worked out almost perfectly. You can't get a better 2 crabs than this. This is about as perfectly as you would want them to be on your island. Okay, I'm looking for the lanterns, yeah. We got 2 lanterns and a flashlight. So I dropped one there, one a little bit further out here. And yeah, I think I want to take gathering any excess rocks. And pippy plants, also important for me to grab because of the speed glitch that I use. I'm often running so fast that I can't react quick enough to avoid poisonous things, whether it's a snake, a poisonous starfish, a sea urchin, or even a lionfish or a poisonous sea snake. I find myself getting poisoned quite often when I'm speed swimming or speed running. It's just, you just don't have time to react. And again, not every island has pippy plants, so when you see them, grab them. Now I know at some point here I was debating what to do with the 2 pieces of leather that I have. I could either upgrade my axe to a refined axe, which makes chopping trees much quicker, but I need to get clay. So I think that's my priority here, and I think that's what I end up doing, is saving the leather and making a pickaxe instead of upgrading my axe. If I had 3 pieces of leather, it wouldn't have been a problem. I would have been able to do both. And then finally, oops, here comes the boar. And finally, when I'm taking on the bosses, I like to have at least 1 refined spear, simply because it does twice the damage. And I'm often, the way I do my boss fights now, especially the Megalodon and the eel, is that I'm doing it up close and personal. I'm chasing them down with my super speed and stuff like that. So I like to have a refined spear with which I can just sit there and jab them. And if I don't, then I have to rely on crude spears, and they're just not as good. I really hate it when the boars get stuck on the rocks like that, because they do these jerky little roundabout patterns that are really hard to predict when they're going to be, where they're going to be. I like it when they just come straight at you like that, because then they're an easy target, easy to kill them, not a problem at all. More planks. And yeah, in this run, there was just so many planks. I was just finding planks everywhere, in wrecks, in crates, lying on the beach on every island, it was just like, wow, I should have done this run with a raft. I would have been able to build a whole bunch of container shells. No problem at all. But this is a no raft one, so the planks are just kind of useless for me at this point. I already have the ones that I need. Here I got really pissed off at the snake and just decided to hammer him with the axe. Not the normal way to kill a snake, but hey, it worked. I think I was cursing that snake quite violently in real life when I was playing. I probably would have had to have bleeped it out anyways. So and here I'm looking after coconuts. With the current strategy that I use for speedrunning, you need 10 coconut flasks in order to get the 10 drinks of water that you need to escape. And I use a combination of rations and then whatever rations I don't have, if I don't have enough of them, which you rarely ever do, then I use coconut halves as the other food item to escape. It's kind of an interesting thing with the latest update in 0.78 experimental. They've increased the capacity of your inventory slots for certain items, like fish, for example. You can now carry 8 fish in one inventory slot instead of only 4. So that doubles your capacity. Now I haven't actually tested this because, again, I couldn't get it to work very well. It was glitching out. When I killed something and with a spear, I could no longer use my axe or pick up items or anything, so I haven't been playing on the experimental branch at all, other than my first 2 attempts at this that ended up both failing because the controls glitched. But I heard that they've increased the slot for fish, for example, but I don't actually know whether that applies to meat as well. So if you have 8 fish in one slot and skin them all and get 8 pieces of small meat, can you put all of those in one spot as well? Or does that require 2 inventory slots because they're now pieces of meat? I don't know. I would assume that you can carry 8, but I don't really know. There was something else too. I can't remember what it was that you can carry now 8 of instead of 4. One of them was fish. I can't remember what the other one was. Oh, I think it was fruit. Not that you ever would have 8 pieces of fruit in a normal game anyways. Maybe if you have if you've built farms and are growing fruit, you might have 8 pieces of fruit. But when in a normal game would you ever have 8 pieces of fruit in your inventory? Anyways, it's nice that they did that. I'm still waiting for them to turn these stupid utility belts into actual inventory slots for your tools. That would be a huge freaking saver, time saver, bonus, benefit, whatever you want to call it. Especially in speedrunning when you're doing it like I'm doing here with no raft. Inventory is just such a pain in the butt. And I know on Xbox and PS4 that those utility belts, they are inventory. So you do get extra inventory slots on console, but you don't on PC. So they really need to change that for PC. Now I don't mind, I don't know how they do it on PS4 and Xbox, whether only certain items can be placed in the tool belt or whether you can put anything that you can carry in the tool belt. I would think that because it's called a tool belt, that it would be for tools. Like I could imagine like a knife, an axe, maybe a pickaxe, a machete if you have the escape crate, whatever you call it, starter crate, or a compass, maybe bandages, or binoculars. Those would all be items that I think would be fine if they were put into a utility belt. Or, you know, even if you only have a few slots, 4 slots, 5 slots, whatever. I think that would be cool if they allowed it but limited it to those items. I'd have no problem with that at all. Because it is really your knife, your axe, your compass, And what else? I don't know. Maybe bandages? I don't know. I don't know. There could be a few things that they could allow to put in there, but I don't think they need to have everything allowable in those slots. There's no point, for example, of carrying coconuts in your utility belt. That would be kind of awkward in real life. Imagine having coconuts around your waist. That would be, no, that's just not going to go. So yeah, here I'm making coconut flasks. And I found a potato. Being cautious here because of snakes. Another potato there. So we've got 3 potatoes in this island. That gives me a total of 5 on 2 islands, which is pretty much as good as you're going to get. Well, I mean, technically you could get 3 on your start island as well, and 3 on your second island, so that would give you 6. But basically, the perfect speed run would be getting 3 islands with a total of 8 potatoes in whatever combination, 2, 3, and 3. It has to be pretty much. And having the boss fights close by, one after the other, or they can be like in this one where I'm going to, after this island, I'm going to go take on the first boss before I hit the 3rd island. And that's because it's basically right on the way. And as long as you can hit them without having to hit any intermediate spots that are a waste of time, then it's great. A lot of times when I'm doing these speed runs, I end up having to do, I think it's like 8 or 9 legs of the route, and usually there's at least one extra trip in there that you could maybe eliminate if the islands were laid out properly or in the ideal layout. And this is the first one that I've done where the two of the boss fights are actually located beyond the aircraft carrier, and that actually works out really well because you can drop off your fuel, food, and water at the aircraft carrier. So you don't have to carry it out with you to the boss fight and risk losing it, off the edge of the buoy wall if it's the squid, or off of the dead whale if it's the megalodon. With the eel, there's no problem because there's space enough for you to place your crates and you're not going to lose them. But with the squid and the megalodon, it is definitely trickier. And yeah, I found with this super sprint that I have here is that sharks are generally not a problem. They only get triggered after you're around them for a while. And here, like there, you can see I just swam right past him. He didn't have time to react to me at all. Okay, and here's a little tip. I notice here that I need food and I am still poisoned. I forgot about healing myself there. So I do have a coconut flask and a pippy plant right there. So there we go. Got that out of the way. Gonna need some food. And I've got the pickaxe, so I want to get some clay before it gets dark. Now, for people who don't know this, clay typically will spawn from the east side of the island to the southeast side of the island. And that's exactly where I went on the compass, and sure enough, there's a couple of clay nodes. And real simple, grab them and away you go. If you just randomly swim into the ocean, if you're on the wrong side of the island, for example, the northwest side of the island, you're going to have to swim almost entirely around the island before you find the clay. And that's really kind of unfortunate. So in these speed runs, it's really helpful to know where the clay spawns. And yeah, so again, from east to southeast is typically where you're going to find it. And I do that now in all my speed runs, and it hasn't really failed me yet. So until they change that in the game generation, that's pretty much where the clay is going to be. Okay, so here I already have the clay that I need. I have the planks that I need. I have the fuel cans that I need. I could build a fuel cell right here, right now, and cook my first batch of fuel. I think about that, but then I decide it's actually still light out, that I may be able to actually just pack up and go and take on the first boss, like right away here. Okay, so that gives me my 10 drinks of water. I'm going to chop these up for sticks and to turn them into spears, again, simply because I need to increase my crafting skill so that I can build a breath boost. I'm not upgraded high enough yet to build a breath boost. And a breath boost is pretty much essential when you're taking on either the squid or the eel. Megalodon, not so much. But the eel and the giant squid, you pretty much have to have that breath boost. Here I'm just messing about trying to get everything organized as conveniently as possible, and it's something I still struggle with a little bit. If there's anywhere in my game that I can save a little bit of time, it would probably be in inventory management. It's just so hard to keep track of everything, keep it so organized when you only have, you know, what you can carry as your only inventory spot. So there we go. We take my coconut and the ajuga. So I build a second one. And here I'm just contemplating what I can do with and without, what I have room for. Decided to turn that lashing into a coconut flask, which means I need to move the ajugas, or just put it over there, I guess. Couldn't remember what I decided to do there. I don't really need those 2 ajuga plants, but you know, in the moment when you're playing, you can't think of everything. It's easier to look at the game afterwards from a viewer's perspective, I guess, because you're not cluttered up with doing, you know, everything that's going on with your head while you're trying to play the game. You just got so many things going on in your head that you're trying to get things done. Okay, so it's 1:50 in the afternoon. I still have time to take out the first boss. I see this wreck here that I hadn't seen already, and because it has leather in it, I decided to take it because that's like a huge saver right there. If I hadn't seen this crate, I would have gone into this first boss fight without any refined spears at all. And I'd really like to have at least one. With the technique that I use now when I'm fighting bosses, I tend to use my speed sprint a lot in order to keep up with the boss. And if I have a refined spear, I can just continuously jab him. And that's huge. Now I know that I have lashings, I have spears, I have leather, the 1 piece of leather, so I don't even build it there. I'm just going to go to the boss fight. And I don't even know if I know which boss this is at the time. I do know now, of course, but at the time, I'm not sure if I knew which boss this was. So, and it's the eel. So here I do need the breath boost, so it's good that I have that, and I do also need a refined spear, because the way I fight the Great Abia now is basically with just a refined spear. Like, don't even need to take regular spears. Okay, so there's a rock. So there we go. I have an axe and a refined spear. That's all I've got on me. Take one of the breath boosts. That's all I need. Let's go. I was a little bit dangerous there. I swam right in front of his head, which means, you know, he could have grabbed me, but he didn't, so that was cool. You can hear him leaping behind me, but I don't know where he was. He didn't get me anyways. But this is my strategy with the speed sprint that I have, is that I wait for him to come and turn away, and then I just get in behind him, try not to pass him while I'm swimming just as fast as him, and just continuously jab him with the refined spear, which does just great damage. So he's almost out of health already, and all I've used is one refined spear. Now here, because I was running out of breath, I decided to go back because I didn't really know where I was in relationship to the wreck, so I had to do a bit of a 360 there and go back. It turns out I probably should have just killed him where he was, because he was a one hit. But yeah, I didn't know that at the time, obviously, so just trying to be safe. Got him killed using just one refined spear, and I fall off the top there. Whoops. Okay, so we're about 36 minutes in, and I've killed the first boss. I've hit 2 islands. I have 5 potatoes, and we're on our way to the 3rd island now. And I'm just checking my map to make sure I'm going to the right island. You can see the aircraft carrier in the distance there. So we're already very close to the aircraft carrier, the escape carrier. Now I know that it's turning nighttime soon, so I want to get my fuel cells going as quickly as I can here. I'm going to need a chop down a palm tree to get the palm fronds. To build a shelter. Whoa, and the boar attacks me there, so kind of don't know where he went. He's over by the rocks. I'm careful not to throw my refined spear when there's rocks around, though, because if you miss the boar, you're going to hit the rocks and your spear's going to break. And the refined spear is just too valuable for that. And you can see there, I think I broke one of my crude spears because he dodged out of the way there at the last second. And he disappeared up over the hill over there, so there's a crab over on the other side of the rock here. Trying to gather the sticks that I'll need to make a couple of fires. Again, I have to be cautious about snakes. So basically what I need to do now is I need to build 2 fires, put fire rings around them, so that's 3 rocks each. The fires, I believe, are 4 sticks each. And then I need a kindling. And then to make the fuel stills, I'll need another 3 sticks per fuel still, so that's another 6 sticks. I think I need 18 sticks total here. So that's why I'm chopping up. I picked this tall tree and I'm chopping it up into pieces. And just grabbing some fibrous leaves while it's still light as well, because I'll need 4 lashings in order to make the fuel stills as well. Need 2 per fuel still. Now the key here is to get the fuel stills cooking before you go to sleep for the night, because if you can get them fired up and cooking the potatoes and then you go to sleep, when you wake up in the morning, which will only be seconds later in game, the potatoes will be fully cooked and the fuel will be created. So if you don't do that though, you have to wait for quite a long time for the fuel to cook if you do it during the daytime while you're awake. So really, really imperative that I get these fuel stills built before I go to sleep. And why build 1 when you can build 2? And get all your potatoes cooked at once. Could have built that from the quick crafting menu, but I missed that somehow. Lost myself a second or 2 there, no big deal. What you'll find with these speedruns is there's always stuff that you're going to miss out afterwards. If you watch it back, you go, oh, I could have saved a second there, or a couple of seconds there, or... yeah, but it is what it is. You can't really go through it and nitpick at absolutely everything, because when you're playing for over an hour, there's going to be things that go wrong, or that don't go quite ideally. It's just the way that the game is. The only thing I'm missing there is 2 lashings, but I have 11 fibrous leaves on me, so I just have to with the 2 lashings, and that should be it. Yep. There we go. Now I only have 1 potato to put in here so far, but I'm going to fire it up and get it going while I go look for more potatoes. Just basically getting a stock of what I have and what I still need to do. So I still need 2 coconut flasks. I'll need sticks for weapons. And of course I need fiber sleeves to build a couple of more lashings for the coconut flasks and whatnot. Probably need a few more bandages. See the fruit tree here and grab the kura fruit. And I find the other potatoes there right close to each other. That was kind of fortunate. Still missing 1 potato, I think. Still going cautiously here because of the giant boar and the snakes. And it's just so dark on this side of the island that I could walk right past potatoes and not even see them. So it's kind of unfortunate I didn't take a lantern here. I really should have. So I decided to hit this wreck to see if I can luck out and find a lantern or a lamp. Then it'll save me from having to go back. Find 2 pieces of leather instead, which is nice because, you know, I can make more refined spears and another food ration, so that's great. Didn't have the lantern or flashlight that I wanted, but those were good items as well, so that's okay. Here I thought I saw a light out in the cabin, so I thought, ooh, there's a lantern out here. But I get out there and there is nothing. So I think what I was seeing was just the campfire from the fuel stills being reflected on there. And there was nothing in the crate, and other than, you know, rations and lashings, no lamps. So I check again because I'm pretty sure I was like, at this point, I think I was still thinking, I swear I saw a light out here. But nope, it was just a reflection. So not much I could do about that. Okay, I noticed the giant boar there, so we're going to have to hit him with a spear or something. First one goes too high. Second one goes too low. Third one just right. I heard a snake there, so I decided to go back and kill it just so it doesn't poison me later. And there he is on the beach. If I had just left him, he might have ended up poisoning me. He could move from that location and catch me unaware again, but it worked out pretty well. So at this point I decide, okay, to heck with this. I can't see where the stupid things are up in the dark side of the island there, so I'm going to try and make myself a torch. And here I get confused because I don't know what happened where the torch is, and I can't do anything. I'm clicking on the button and nothing's happening. And it turns out that it was because the... I'm trying to escape to see what the heck's going on here. It turns out I just needed to click the button to drop it on the ground. That was all I needed to do. It's kind of stupid. I wasted a couple of seconds there as well. Alright, so I take a torch with me up into the island. Now I can see. Hopefully I can find the last potato, which I know is here somewhere because I did play this island once before. Just gonna eat the fruit. The stupid torch went out because I took it out of my hand. And yeah, but I got the last potato, so that's all that really mattered here. Throw that in. And now I can build the shelter and get some sleep. So that little portion there could have gone a little bit faster if I built a torch right away, for example, or if I just had luck running into the potato at the right time. So we're 51 minutes in, and yeah, it's going well. That one is completely cooked already. So I need to break this apart to get the fuel can out of it. Turn the fire off just so nothing burns. Not that it will, but you know. And use the jerry can to take the fuel from here. We now have our fuel. We can put into the fuel crate. Okay, so I have spears. I have 8, 9. I have 9 waters. So I need one more drinkable water, or drinkable coconut flask, whatever you want to call them. Don't need the pickaxe anymore. I got 2 pieces of leather. I know that the boss fights I have left are the Megalodon and the Squid, so I know that I don't need a breath boost for the Megalodon, so all I have is the 1 breath boost, which is good for the Squid, so I don't need to build more breath boosts. I've got 4 bandages, which is pretty good. That should be fine as well for the 2 boss fights. And here I build my 2 refined spears from the leather that's there. Got 2 more lashings still, so I decided to make another bandage. The boar is coming for me again. I'd almost forgotten about him. I thought he was already dead, but that was the other island. So, yeah. I actually don't remember what it was I was heading that way to get, but I ended up killing the boar and getting back some of my spears. And, oh, now I'm going for coconuts, I think. Yeah, okay, I remember now. So now I need, all I'm missing now is to have enough food, and I need one more coconut flask, and I need 5 coconuts. And I took a couple of extras there, I think, just to be on the safe side. So there I've got 5 rations, which means I only need 3 coconuts. There's my 10 drinks of water. So that crate is done. Got my fuel and my food. So that crate is done. My spears in there. Pick up those ones and put them in there as well. So that crate is full. That one's already full. That can be my coconut crate. Get bandages and a juga there. Nothing in that one. And nothing in that one. Okay. So I've still got room for a few more spears. Got one more inventory slot. And I decide halfway through that I don't really need to break that apart. There's nothing there I need. The lashing, I'm not even going to really have room for it. So I decided to take those sticks instead. And I'm going to fill this crate up with sticks. So I had 4 there, 2 there. So there's room for another 6, another 2 actually, because I put my knife in there. And that one is empty. So I put my axe in there. Looking around for anything else that I might need in the boss fights, and decide to just head off to the aircraft carrier. We're still around 56 minutes into the speed run, so that's really good. All I've got left is 2 boss fights and the escape itself. And both of the boss fights are just off the other side of this carrier next to each other, so they're quite close. So we got our fuel and our food. I decided to take one of the lashings, or one of the, why do I keep saying lashings? I decided to take one of the food rations with me. And we've got our food and our water and our fuel over here. So water, food, and fuel. I put the food in with the other food. 3, I've got 7 coconuts, which makes 14 pieces of food, so I've got plenty. So I decided to take an extra ration with me, just in case I need them in the boss fights. Got 1 before I go into battle. I've got the bandages, I've got the knives and the axe. I decided to put the axe over here to break apart the coconuts. I don't need that crate at all. But then I have second thoughts, decide I'm going to take this driftwood pile. I have the inventory space, I might as well make a few more spears, because the squid uses a lot of spears. The megalodon can use a lot, but I should be able to also use my refined spears on the megalodon. Just jabbing them as I swim after them. So I decide, mainly because of the squid, to maximize my number of spears here. That one just goes too far, so I just ignore it. Grab this one here. Instead, it's close by. Okay, I'm just going to grab my crates. That one I can put the spears in. Okay, now I leave the axe behind. Okay, so here we are. I get kind of confused here trying to figure out what direction to go. I waste a little bit of time here, which is really unfortunate. For some reason, I was really unsure about where I was going. You see, I get out into the water and then I'm like, is this right? This can't be right. Then I go back. Really don't want to screw this up. I have a really good time going. I'm looking at my map while I'm doing this and determining, yeah, that should be the right direction, but that doesn't look right. That island over there, I don't know, I don't recognize that island because there's a tanker there by the looks of it on the left-hand side in behind the little rocks. So I'm basically here just looking at my map going, where am I? Why does this feel wrong? And then I'm comparing it to the other islands as to what direction they are in relationship to the shipwreck here, or to the carrier. And then I decide to go up to the other end of the island and measure it from there. And I'm not seeing any islands that way at all. And it's like, yeah, it should be right about there. So then I say, yeah, well, that must be right then. So I wasted almost a full minute there. Unfortunate. Should have just gone with my first measurement because it was basically correct. And I think this is the Megalodon, and it's not actually that difficult to see when you're out in the water. As long as the water is calm like this, you should be able to see it from a fair distance. Not much risk of swimming past it, like with the eel. The eel, you have to be really precise about where you're going. Because if you're off by just a little bit, you may swim right past it and not even see it. It doesn't render in until you're quite close to it. But the Megalodon and the buoy ball for the squid, they're pretty easy to see from a distance. Accidentally ran right off the whale there. Instead of going back up on the whale and risking getting knocked off again, because every time you do that, every time he hits you like that, you lose a bit of your health and you don't bleed, so you can't repair it with a bandage. So I decided to just use the spears that I had out of that first crate and try and take him down. And I'm dodging as best I can. I threw that one wild. I don't know what I was thinking there. Managed to dodge him there a little bit. So there I used up all my crude spears by throwing them at him. And now that I have my refined spears, I decide to swim after him and just poke him. Every time you get close to his head, he turns around and goes in the opposite direction. So if I overtake him here, you can see that he turns around and goes back the other way. So I can kind of use that to control his movement a little bit, to keep him close to the whale carcass so that he doesn't swim too far out. And if I do start getting too far away from the whale carcass, then I'll just swim back like this, and he'll just automatically swim back to the whale. And I've mentioned this before, but I had a situation against the squid once, I think it was, where I was chasing him using my sprint speed, and I ended up chasing him completely out of his territory, and he just despawned right in front of my eyes. And I had to go all the way back to the buoy, and there he was hanging to the chain as if nothing had happened, and he had full health again. So everything that I had done and all the damage I had inflicted on him was for naught, and I had to start all over again. So that was a real killer. So there I was careful not to push him too far away from the whale carcass, because I knew that he would despawn if he got too far away. All right, so now here we've done that one. We're now on our way to the final boss fight. It should be right in that direction that I'm pointing. I don't think I can see the buoy ball or the buoy or whatever you call it on the horizon. I keep calling it a buoy ball. It's not really a ball. It's just a buoy. But yeah, it's not that far away, so I should be getting there momentarily. And I've gotten a lot better at fighting the squid too. You can see this squid fight goes pretty well compared to how my squid fights usually go. Okay, I'm not proud of my squid ability up to this point. But I have been, you know, I'm trying to learn. I'm getting better as I play more and more. You know, up until the update where they actually added the escape carrier, I had never, ever, ever even done one of the boss fights. Like, I just never saw the point of doing any of the boss fights because there was no point. Now, this is a little trick I learned the first time I tried to use this technique to fight the boss without a raft. I placed all my crates on the buoy here around this platform and then threw my spear at him. And when I finished my first batch of spears and came back up, all my crates were gone. So what happens is that when the squid moves himself from the chain there where he's hanging out when you get there, he bumps the chain and rattles the whole thing, and all of the crates that are sitting up there will just go flying and they'll sink down to the bottom of the ocean, and you've just lost everything that you had in those crates. So now when I do this, I'll make sure that I keep my crates on me, toss the first spear until he releases the chain and starts swimming around, and then it's safe for you to put your crates on the buoy and they won't be knocked off. At least that's what I've discovered so far. Hopefully that is completely true. And here he grabs me, so I switch to my refined spear, try and jab him a couple of times while he's got me. Might as well inflict maximum damage while he's damaging me. And yeah, dodge him there before he can get me again. Grab the last spear there. Need a bandage. Breath boost. Okay. Just want to get back up there and take my bandage. That was actually an empty crate. I don't know why I even took that crate with me. At this stage of the game, I've already got all the stuff I need at the aircraft carrier, so I can just let these empty crates fall off into the depths if I wanted to. It wouldn't make any difference whatsoever. I'm still trying to see what's in this last crate, but he's not cooperating. Or I'm just being too slow at it. There we go. Grab my last stuff. Grab a piece of food. Use the bandage. Alright, so we've got our last thing. Gonna head down to the depths here, the bottom of the chain. And now he should just start circling above me. And we can put the remaining spears that we have into him. So I managed to grab a few spears as well as a couple of refined spears. I got 2 refined spears and a few crude spears, so this should be enough to finish him off. My last spear, and he dies. So I got him with my last spear. That was pretty darn good. And here I realized that I could have actually just started swimming right away. All of these crates are empty. Oh, there's actually 2 food rations, I think, in that one. Which, no big deal, because I don't really even need them. I'm at full health, full food and water and stuff. So back to the carrier and escape, and that's pretty much it. We're about an hour and 9 minutes at this point. I'm ahead of my record pace, which was an hour and 24 minutes. So I've got 15 minutes to escape here. And yeah, I don't think I'll be spoiling it to say that I do manage to do it in time. And this is my new record, which, you know, honestly, I don't know how I could improve on this very much, other than getting my directions screwed up there when I was leaving the island right here, the aircraft carrier island, to go to the boss fight. I wasted about a minute. Other than that, you know, it was a pretty good run. Everything went pretty much perfectly. Maybe there's the odd, you know, few seconds here or there that I could have saved, but I mean, honestly, getting the time less than, you know, more than a minute or so better than this would be extremely difficult. I can't imagine where I'm going to shave off any more time. You know, and this is already, you know, a good almost 2 hours. Well, actually 2 hours faster than my first speed run that I did, or the first speed run record that I had, which is 3 hours and 16 minutes. I'm now getting it down to about 2 hours less than that. So about an hour and 16 minutes. How crazy is that? I've knocked off 2 hours off of my speed run time. And I just don't know how else I can shave any more time off than what I already have. With the speed run and the speed sprint that I have, I just don't know how I can get it any faster than this. I didn't really craft too many things. I don't think that I could have been any more efficient in so many aspects of this run. So, you know, anything that I could save from here on out is going to be small. I know that my cohort Speedy Deep, he is convinced the game can be beat in under an hour, and you know, I was very skeptical to start with, and then once I got the speed run going with my speed sprint, I thought, well, you know, maybe an hour is possible. But now that I've done a few runs with No Raft and whatnot, I just don't know how we're going to shave another, say, 15 minutes off of this. I just don't know how it's going to be possible. But I don't know. We'll see if there's any other tricks that can be figured out or discovered or whatever that will save time somewhere along the line. I'm not going to say it's not possible, but at this moment, I don't see how it could be possible. But, you know, never say never. Like 2 months ago, I wouldn't have thought that this time was even remotely close to being possible. So, you know, it is what it is. You learn as you go. And away we go. So yeah, now it's just basically the escape scene. We've all seen this before, nothing too new. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I really enjoyed this run. It went pretty much optimally, except for my glitch there with the direction off the aircraft carrier. Otherwise, I can't complain at all. Everything went pretty well. Yeah. And like I say, I really don't know how I can beat this time. It's going to be extremely difficult, and I'm not even sure I want to try anymore. I've been doing so many of these speed runs, I'm kind of tired of them now. So I may concentrate on other stuff for a while. I may be doing more of my Let's Play Harder series with Ducky, or maybe another challenge series. I've had a few people suggesting some challenges. And yeah, I'll see how it goes in the next while. I also want to try Subnautica and play that and see what you guys think of that. I'd be a total noob playing that, though. I've never played the game. I'm not an expert at it at all. So I'm going to go into that having no clue what to do or how to avoid the dangerous things. I'm probably going to die a bunch of times. And yeah, I'm looking forward to that, though. It should be fun. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Do like, subscribe to my channel so I can keep producing more content. And enjoy the final escape. I'll put the final time up on the screen once the credits start rolling after I escape. And yeah, this is a new record time. If you have any ideas of where I could have shaved off, you know, say 30 seconds or more, I'm not really worried about a few seconds here or there, because no run is going to go perfectly. You're going to get distracted. Things are not going to go perfectly. But if there's something I'm doing that you think fundamentally, if you do this, you could save 30 seconds or a minute or a couple of minutes, do let me know in the comments down below. Otherwise, yeah, I'll wait until somebody else suggests a new glitch or a new thing that's going to be time saving. And yeah. Enjoy the final scene. There we go. Done. Final time will come on the screen shortly. And I'm just going to hit escape shortly to see the in-game timer, see what it stands at. One hour and 13 minutes by the in-game timer, so we should be around 1 hour and 15 and a half-ish. I'll post the time on the screen right now. There you go. That's it for this episode, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll catch you again next time. Bye for now.